hope everyone's doing well. I get a lot of video requests for different areas of study. Today we're going to look at taking the book, simplifying the book, making sure that things make sense, and finding patterns or building blocks within those things. You can find many building blocks within kata. One of the things to look for is the technique in this kata or that kata? Is the technique seen in repetitive kata, as we do with makituke, or the winding block, where we start low in the wankan and we move our way up? You will see that block kind of follow suit in each kata moving forward, or most of the kata moving forward. And we don't really think about that. So we're going to start with something easy that we do all the time in the dojo. We actually started it with our junior program or youth program, just to kind of familiarize themselves. People get overwhelmed when they learn all these techniques, and so we try to simplify things. Simplifying things, if you look at it, we have basically 13 main stances that we do in all of Matsubayashi. You can add one or two here and there, but basically, if you include the 3 ready positions that we'll talk about in the next video, you can make this very simple. If you go to Sensei's book and you look at page 55, I think this is one of the most important but also overlooked sections of the book. From page 55 and up, the interpretations of Matsubayashi do. When you look at this, it talks about on page 57, 58, and 59, Kamae kata. Kamae kata basically means ready position. And we have 3 ready positions that we use. We have our heels together with the feet 45. We have our feet together where the toes are touching. And we have our feet shoulder width apart. When I begin or end the kata, I start from this position, which is number 1. When I go to make a bow, what happens is we have all kinds of bows. We have people that really slam it down, and this is more Japanese or tournament or sport oriented. What you want to do is think about how you see some of the older masters in Okinawa. When they perform their kata, they'll approach very calmly. They keep their feet together, they put their hands at their side, and they go to ready position right after their bow. The bow shouldn't really be any big production like that. It should just walk up, close off, and then begin the kata. So one of the things that we see is people will bow like this or nod their head. You want to make this a presentation of respect or a demonstration of respect. So as you do this, you just simply lower and come back. When we go into ready position, a lot of times for our 3rd ready position, where our feet are shoulder width apart, you'll see people that put their hands out like they're making a muscle or they're punching down. You want to keep your hands right inside your hip bones. If you see the ready position out here, it's too wide. Nagamine Sensei always talked about that. So you keep it right inside, just like this, and it should just come naturally. So after you bow, you close. So let's get into this routine. We've already talked about the first 3 ready positions. So I have heels, toes, and shoulder width apart. We're going to let our body weight just kind of drop. So allow gravity to help you. If you force this down, you're going to feel a lot of pressure on your muscles. But if you just let your body sink like this, it's much easier just to stand in this position. It doesn't take any energy from there. You're going to go right into a natural stance, which would be like natural walking or anything like this. From here, you're going to go into lunge stance. Back to cat stance. From cat stance to cross stance. So these should be the same. The foot goes in this direction. The hips maintain the same area or the same direction. And so if I'm doing kosudachi, I'm going into nekoashi, back and forth, just like that. Kibadachi or nahanchi dachi, you're gonna do similar, but make sure again, you allow things to sink. You don't want to squeeze or ride forward, just kind of allow your body to sink. From here, pick up the foot. You want to do at least to your belt level, but higher if you can, and the foot parallel to the floor. When you go into the next, this is a slanted lunge stance, leaning stance, or kokotsudachi. So come back, and then you're going to drop into kneeling position. And when you do your kneeling position, you want to have your foot like this rather than toes down. So make sure that it's like that, and stand up straight rather than pushing off. So let's review. If you go into the 3 that we already talked about, 1, 2, 3. Move out to squat stance. 4, 5, can be fighting stance or natural stance. Your choice. 6, lunge stance. This way. 7, cat. From cat stance, you go to cross stance. The hips stay the same. So 1 to 2. 1, 2. Horse stance. Ipan. Nagamine, kokotsu, iai-goshi. So I hope that helps you. We use it again to kind of simplify things, mostly with beginners. We have different levels. We have drills that we do with them, but I hope maybe that inspired you to look at how to make things a little bit easier when you're studying Matsubayashi. You have certain points when you practice these stances that are supposed to be met, or ideas behind or understandings behind the stances and what they can create. And one of the things you want to work on is endurance. So these stances will develop endurance. The second thing that the stances help you to work on is your stability and or balance. Stability and balance are key to be able to perform certain day-to-day actions. We couldn't function without them. But stability is important in the stances. The last set or point of things that stances help you with is to work on flexibility. So you will become more flexible when you do these stances, and you're going to find that your body gets used to them with time. The other thing that you're going to have to remember is mobility, because we can't just stand still. We do these in an action, such as kata or basics or even sparring, partner routines or something like that. So when using these stances, you have to be mobile. You have to be able to function with them. You have to be able to move around with them. The stances are all designed to teach you certain things. Each stance kind of has something that it shows you. Nagamine Sensei always talked about the cat stance. The cat stance's real purpose for Matsubayashi was to help create distance or space, to just settle away from the person.
I am here now. You can tap in. See, he's touching her. See, but by doing 2 inch, already he not touching me. Then I will kick him 7 times when he do. See what happens. You see, slow. See, I'm doing here. Then 7. Then I 7 times, or even though a little bit later. I get him, he don't get me. See? If I drop in my hip, see? Then finish it.
In 2011, when he was at the dojo, we had a class, and we took a lot of time to talk about the spring effect. And the spring effect in kosudachi, or cross stance. So how you create this upper motion and spring effect is key, and that's one of the main things to teach you from kosudachi, or one of the benefits of learning kosudachi. We have many others, body shifting and things like that. But one of the benefits of cross stance is to teach you a spring effect that you can add to the technique to create power from a short distance.